Hi there, Loy Machedo. Speaking to you from LoyMachedo.com. Who's Loy Machedo? Think personal branding. Okay. Date is 4th of February 2023. Time right now is 5:22 in the morning. Okay. As you know, I'm a father to a 4-year-old baby girl. Okay. And, I have certain roles. My wife has certain roles. So today I thought I would share with you my style of parenting versus how my parents, raised me. So I'll give you the difference in their style versus my style. And feel free to comment down below and tell me if you think I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure you would have different opinions. Each one of us has a different style of parenting or living our lives. So feel free. Tell me if you think certain areas are wrong. And maybe some of you have more experience, or even if you're not a parent but you're a child, and you have an opinion, I would like to hear it. Okay, so I have given more or less seven key points, and if in between I feel I'll add something, I'll add it, but as of now it's 7. Okay, so now my parents' style of raising me versus mine. Now, if you have followed my channel all these months or years, you know that my parents, my stepfather, my real father left me. He was from Kochi, Kerala. He was a shippy guy. But he was one of the stylish guys, lots of women and all that. And he left. My mother and him broke up when I was just a small baby. And then my mother married my stepfather, who was from Mangalore. And she was also from Mangalore. They didn't marry, means legally, until very later, but they were together. So I was born and raised, I was raised by a Mangalorean Catholic, kind of conservative, kind of reserved family. And obviously, then when I went to Dubai at a very small age, and Dubai was my life. So it was more like they had a Mangalorean roots. Uh, they stayed in Bombay or Mumbai, as you call it, and finally they moved to Sharjah, that, or you can call it Dubai, and they try to live the Indian wannabe modern life. So I was raised in a very Catholic, you could say South Indian Catholic strict environment, where they believed spare the rod, then spoil the child, and believe in Jesus, even though they never understood religion. They would just follow the protocols from whatever their parents or grandparents or, and beating with a stick and all that. However, my stepfather took it to another level altogether, because nobody was there to see what he was doing, to supervise, so he could get away with anything. And obviously he identified me as the child of my mother's ex, husband or lover. So that hatred was also there. And plus, he used to work the whole day. So he had his frustrations, he had his anger, and he didn't have his own child. So he didn't know how to raise me. And I was hyper ADHD, hyper. Okay. And he used to keep me locked up in the house. So obviously, I was bursting with energy. And, like my daughter also has ADHD, and I know how it is. So it can drive anyone crazy. So right from, I think, the age of 4 or 5, my my stepfather used to take a leather belt, and you have this. It's a very thin bamboo cane. Okay, he used to take that and he used to violently hit me, violently. And you're talking of a person when he's angry, and it could be anything, whether it was I didn't study, which I was never studying, or I didn't do my homework, or someone complained about me, or I was not behaving well, or I was running around. He would, his, the beating sessions, which were done in a quiet room, would last from anywhere from 15 minutes to up to maybe 1 hour, 1.5 hours. And that's to see the time. And obviously, he used to beat me so violently that, the skin used to tear off. You try hitting with full force with a cane, with a rubbery cane, you get all these marks. And I still remember, in some areas, blood used to come. But he would not, my face, he would hit me physically with his hand, and it would swell. But the other areas he would hit me with a cane, and belt also, the belt, leather belt, he wouldn't spare. Now, obviously, you'll ask, what was my mother doing? She is, of course, my mother. Very strange woman. We always think that a mother should, feels love for the child, but I don't know whether what was going through her head, but she was like, the best way to make this boy disciplined, for him to grow, to become a better, is beatings. And obviously, they would take the Bible out of context, spare the rod and spoil the child. And okay, so whatever. And they were never there for me. They never spoke to me. To this date, I do not remember a single conversation I had with my father. I never had a conversation, never talked to him. Maybe mom here and there. We used to just talk just randomly here and there. They would always tell me no money if I wanted anything, whether it was a chocolate, whether it was, you go to the supermarket and you see Snickers and Mars and Twix. We used to get that in Dubai, even those days, 80s. If I had no money, we don't have any money. So I used to be very sad and keep it back. Because obviously, a small boy, if a small kid, you say no money, what do you do? And they would never buy those things. And I would love books, but they would never buy me books, coloring books, toy characters. Only once a year during Christmas, they would buy me something, but they would buy me something really boring. It's like Ludo set or chess set and all that. And I was forever locked in the house. There was no telephone, there was no TV, there was nothing for me to interact, no friends, was not allowed to go. So, I'm just telling you as it is. I'm not asking you to feel pity and sorry for me. And obviously, the dark side, which was my uncle who was sexually molesting me, that was later on that happened. So, and, there was it wasn't a good life. And my parents even had the audacity to go and tell my teachers those days, sergeant in school in Saja, beat him as much as we like, discipline him. He's a very mischievous boy. So they, Kerala teachers, who, for them, oh, very happy. Oh, we can beat up this guy. He's anyway driving us mad. So they would beat me up. Then the school boys knew that my parents wouldn't be bothered and they would gang up against me. And because I was seeking attention, approval, and then in church also, same thing. So miserable upbringing, miserable. Okay. And uh, 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 just imagine a young man who is totally lost, who doesn't have, today we internet, you have social media, your phone, who had nothing to access information, nothing, no books, no TV, no radio. And I just had to figure out who I was, what I was, and adults wouldn't talk to me. So that is how I grew up. So I gave you a kind of picture. I know it's terrible. Anything, even 1% better than this is an achievement. But like I said, I believe that I'm not perfect and I don't want to portray myself. I'll keep it real. So this is how my parents were. Now, how am I going to be slightly different? These are the policies that I follow. I believe that in terms of my child, we have to be strict. At least I believe I have to be strict in the sense obedience. Obedience is paramount. There is absolutely no flexibility here. If you tell the child, sit, stand, do this, do that, no questions asked. Kind of a military kind of this thing. Why? Because the child who is born obedient, who knows how to respect their elders, will grow up to be successful, will grow up to be something worthwhile. I have not met a single youngster or child who is obedient to their parents, who is respecting their elders, to be a bad individual. So I've told my wife very clearly, the baby will respect, no matter how poor the relative is, every elderly person, respect them. Every monk, every religious person, anyone, respect is paramount, and obedience. Must listen to you, must listen to me. And if my wife tells the baby something, I don't interfere. Sometimes my baby comes crying and mommy shouted. I said, go to mommy. Don't come to me. And when I correct the baby, my wife doesn't get involved. So first one is, I'm pretty strict about these things. And, there should be a time to get up, time to sleep, time to do whatever. It's more like the military, like but it's not that hardcore. I don't keep it so hardcore, but those fundamentals must be there. However, strict doesn't mean physical abuse. the max I can remember is I spanked the baby's bum. She was wearing a pamper anyway. When she was doing something near the gas and stove where the fire was, that was the only time. Or when she was not listening. I would just say twice in these 4 years when she tried to do something dangerous, putting a leg in between the ledge and trying to hang and dangerous stuff. My baby is crazy sometimes. But apart from that, no, there no physical hitting. My wife has maybe given a little bit with a mosquito squatter, a little bit here and there. But my baby is like very emotional. More than the physical aspect, she gets emotionally very intense. So okay, strict but no physical abuse. That's the first point. The second thing is with education, which I'm very sure almost every parent thinks about. Now, for me, my parents made school a matter of life and death and had to get the first rank. And they compared me to others and made me feel like, oh, he's so smart. Look at you. You're so dumb. They should publicly say it. And she's so smart. You're so stupid. And I'm never going to compare my baby to anybody. I'm never going to say she's smarter. I'll just say that you do your best. But I would make my child competitive, just as in public speaking, whether, for example, boxing or running, or there are winners and losers. My daughter has to realize not everything is fair. I don't want anyone giving her a certificate of participation. No, that means nothing. You either win or lose. Okay, so that is there. And she should understand that you're constantly being compared to others. You constantly have to compete with others. Okay. But having said that, there are areas where you should compete and there are areas that don't matter. Now, for example, in school, I'm not going to be very insistent about getting the first rank. But I'm never going to tell her this. I If my daughter gets passing marks, for example, just passing marks, I'm fine with that. If my daughter were to fail in a certain subject, I would try to inquire why. My wife was a rank holder. She used to study hard, even though her parents were not very highly educated. She used to study by herself. So my wife will be taking the education, and my wife is a housewife. So she'll be taking her education and making sure that she's competitive enough to understand the subject and not score marks to gain points. I'm not interested in the marks. I'm more interested in, did she understand the subject? And remember, today, memorization has no value. It doesn't make any sense. What's the point of memorization when you have Wikipedia and now you have what that Chat GPT? So it doesn't make any sense memorizing when you can access it through your phone or online. So there's no point in memorization. Um, it's good to be aware of various subjects, whether geography, history, understand the subject. I'm not very particular about marks. I would not care if she gets first rank, second rank, whatever rank, or even if she gets passing marks in all subjects. But I will not accept mediocrity. I will not accept when she is in the class that she is doing something else or she is not paying attention. No, discipline, like I told you, the military kind. So my my preference would be for her to get practical education like public speaking, communication, running a business, managing money, dealing with people. In fact, I would incentivize my wife for her to start a business where she can buy and sell stuff so she can learn the art of managing money, which I think is more important than getting a degree. But yeah, if she wants to get a degree also, she can get. But I would be more inclined towards she developing her practical skills of making money. And here, dancing, singing, drawing, and those hobbies, those are good hobbies, which divert your attention to relax. But I wouldn't focus on sending her to dance classes, ballet classes, this and that, and dancing and jiggling in front of other people and they praising her. In fact, even when people say, your daughter's so beautiful, she's so cute, I don't like those comments. And if they tell you, your daughter's so smart, so intelligent, sorry, all children are smart and intelligent. There's nothing. I want her to have more value about working hard. I want her to know that there is merit in hard work. Talent is overrated. You work hard. Become the best and show me the best in what you are passionate about, but commercialize what you're really wanting to do. Others, what's the point of learning dancing and wriggling and jiggling but you're not making any money? End of the day, make money and know how to manage it. Number three is I'm never going to tell my child that if she wants a chocolate or she wants something, a toy or something, that I have no money. Okay. If in case, let's say, for example, she says she wants to buy something overly expensive, let's say, for example, the latest AirPods Max. I see some parents buying their children the latest iPhone. That I will not do. If my daughter says she wants the latest iPhone or whatever, no, you work hard, work your ass off. This is not need, this is a want. You work your ass off, earn your money, save your money, and buy. And how you can earn money? Throwing the garbage, cleaning the dishes, maybe learn small pennies, save it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, buy it by yourself. I'm not going to spoil her in that way, but stuff that is educational, like I just purchased before this video, purchased some jigsaw puzzles because she likes jigsaw now. I purchased a remote control car because she's enjoying just buying. I bought a couple of them. She likes, stuff that she interacts, even this clay, modeling clay and all that. And you'll be surprised to know I buy something every single day, but that has educational value. I'm not going to buy anything that is for show off or to brag or to, the latest headphones. No, that way it will not work. So I will never tell my child I don't have the money, but at the same time, I'm not going to say yes to every wish. If she wants to buy designer, this, no, all that, no, that you earn by yourself. But I'll give her what is required and help her in her development. That is very important. Number four is I will, as far as I'm aware of this, I don't think I'm going to use words like my parents use, like words that can really hurt and break your heart, like you're a mistake, you should have died, why are you born, you're a this, you're a that. I'm not going to use that. And okay, some of you did ask me, Law, you use so much of profanity. I use profanity before I used to use as, as a matter of statement and, trying to raise a controversial brand. It's not that I don't use profanity. I do use profanity when I'm intense and in that moment, but my daughter will not use any profanity. I may use when I'm really irritated or bugged or something, but she's never going to use, especially in front of adults. And I, normally when I'm a family person, I don't treat them the way I'll be having a YouTube video or dealing with my clients. You have to wear different roles. So I'm never going to use language that can hurt and harm, especially my child, emotionally. Okay. But then again, we are human beings. We can make mistakes, but I'm not going to do that. Before I miss this point, in my house, there's no alcohol, there's no cigarettes, there's no vices, there is no drugs, there is no parties, there is no going out. This is one extra point. Maybe it could be 8, but we never do that. And I don't think my child is also going to do that. And yeah, I'm aware that some of you will say, what if there is a party get together? There was 2 or 3 that my child goes to nursery. They asked, why don't we take them to this shopping mall, all of them together? I told my wife, no need to take them for her to go there with them. We will take her along with us. We will supervise. And if she's going anywhere, we have to be there, because I've seen how people, when they go, in a bus or something, they are so happy. And especially in Thailand, Thailand is known for its number of accidents. You can Google search online. I'm not willing to take the risk. I need to be sure that my child is protected. And whenever there are get-togethers, if she's going out once a year or whatever, I'll make sure that supervision is there. That is until she is old enough to go by herself. I know you'll be asking, what about boyfriends? I'll come to that. Yeah, point number 5, boyfriends and all that. My parents and I never had open communication. We always had, I don't know, they ask questions, I answer. And, boyfriend, forget boyfriend, girlfriend. In fact, I don't think I ever had any kind of communication with my parents. And the only time that my stepfather found out that I wrote a love letter, I think I was in 8th standard. he beat the hell out of me, man. He beat me so badly. When he found a letter, I just wrote, I want to be your friend to this girl. So in terms of my daughter, if you check in Thailand, teen pregnancy, like Philippines and all that, is very high. I'd make sure that my daughter has open form of communication where she can speak just about anything. And my wife is like my baby's best friend. They literally talk to each other about everything. That is why the major focus was for her to speak in Thai. They speak about anything and everything. So I've told my wife, make her your best friend. Let her always speak to you that way, but I'll play the role of the father. So she'll always have open communication. And if tomorrow there is a boy that she likes, or we'll, like I say, we'll cross the bridge when it comes there. But I would have very open communication with my daughter from pregnancy, sex, relationships, all that stuff. I would speak to her, and I'd also make her know that what is the price she has to pay if she does choose to have sex, at whatever age. But obviously, a sensible parent until the age of 18 should not have. But unfortunately, in third world countries, you have even girls as young as 12, they end up getting pregnant. So this one will be a very tough one. But just to let you know, my wifey, I think until she was 17, 16 or 17, she didn't have a boyfriend. And I think it was only after 18 or maybe 17 that she did have sex. So my wife would know more about in this areas in terms of playboys and how guys are. I'm expert in that area, so I'll make sure my kid is trained to know how to handle men. That much. But I can tell you one thing: my daughter is hyper like me, and she'll pick up a lot of traits from me, whether I like it or not. She'll know how to handle men. That much I can assure you. Okay, but yeah, never underestimate anyone. Then number six is, my parents always had this tendency where once a year they would have a good time, get together, and all that. I don't believe in this once a year kind of thing. I make sure that it's not even every week that I take my kid out. Every 2 3 days, if I feel like, or my daughter feels like the other day she wanted to have a burger. I spoke to my wife. I said, "Oh, why don't we go buy a burger? It'll be good for me, good for you." Wife doesn't like a burger. Sometimes she wants to go to, in the jumping area, which costs for a normal Thai person, they can only afford maybe once a month. I can afford maybe once almost if I want every day, but I take her once every week. So I want good memories, and it's not just for Instagram and showing people on YouTube. And there are many, many moments that I've not shared online. So many people wonder what a boring life you have. Well, I'm very busy. I'm working, but whenever I'm free, the kid is out. Either I take her out to, or my wife and the baby themselves go. And I'll tell you this much: if I take Thai life, the standard of living, my wife is actually living more like a very luxurious life where whatever she wants within the preview of like good food or good time or going out, or within that parameter, my baby is absolutely happy. She has the best tablet. She has the best TV. She has the best foods that she likes. She goes for shopping every day. She goes playing once a week or twice a week. She goes to a favorite restaurant or joint with the family or with me. So I have a lot of good memories, and I spend how much time I do. The rest of the time, my wife does. And I think the final point that I want to say is point number 7 is where education, learning, and reading is concerned, I don't spare a single dime. My parents refuse to buy me even one, even, Indians would know this. There is a book called Tinkle or Amar Chitrakatha, which is super cheap, super cheap. It was like you buying just chewing gum, chewing gum or chiclet or just a sweet. My mother and father even refused to buy that. They were so stingy that they would buy the cheapest, 10 bars of soap for just $1, which was, I don't know, like a shampoo that felt like washing liquid, someone put, they were so bloody stingy and cheap. Okay. In fact, even the razor blade, I used to hide and use my stepfather's until my father discovered and said, no, no, buy your own razor blade. He bought me the cheapest one. So, um, obviously, I'm not going to be like that. And obviously, I'm not going to be the extreme end and pamper her and spoil her with the latest stuff because she needs to earn. But where education, my wife, she wanted books which she could never afford when she was in school. Now, every week, she buys those books, which are kind of cheap. Now, she has her own library, which she never had. All those books that she wanted in her childhood, why don't I buy all these books? Then my daughter likes books. Every single day, I tell my wife, every day, there's not exaggeration, every day, whatever book she wants. I told you, I bought a jigsaw, this thing. Every day, I scroll online, I buy something or another. It's not expensive. It might cost me like $2 or $5 or whatever. Every day, something educational. And after my baby has used it and she no longer can use it or she has got bored of it and all, we give it to children who cannot afford it. So, where education, learning, self-development, reading, I'm not going to spare a single penny. What am I going to do? Take the money in my grave? No. And that's it. So overall, this is the style of parenting that my parents had versus me. And yeah, just so that my mother is never going to, I did try to accommodate my mother and stepfather to see my child and all that. But what I realized is they're still toxic individuals. So that is why there's not going to be any more interaction after, I think, the age of 2. My mother is never going to see my baby, never going to interact with my baby. And stepfather, though, man, I wouldn't even give him the worst bad word. I'm not interested. Whether he's living, whether he dies, both of them, I seriously don't care. They don't mean anything to me because there is no attachment. You're never there when I needed you. I don't need you, man. So I'm never going to be bothered about them. And they're never going to interact with my baby, and neither is my baby going to know who they are. And even if she does, out of curiosity's sake, they're not going to interact. My mother did send me messages wanting to see the baby or asking for I'm sorry, eh, you don't deserve it because you're a grown-ass adult who abused your powers. And I don't think my stepfather even cares. He's that kind of piece of shit. And my mother is just, I think, bored because of old age. So they're never going to interact with them. But where my wife's parents are concerned, her mother and full family, she's always going to interact with them. And she speaks to them literally every single day because they are good people. And where religion is concerned, I've told my wife, raise her as your parents raised you. Let her be a Buddhist and let her live her life as a Buddhist, do the normal stuff. Anyway, this is what, oh yeah, I'm sure you want to know about tattoos. She does like putting stickers. Lately, I found out I bought some many stickers. So she puts stickers. But yeah, I would definitely discourage her from having tattoos because I know what tattoos can do. If she does want tattoos, that is after she earns her own, she's out of my house, out of my expenses. She can live her own life, do her own thing. Then do whatever you want. You want to be a ladyboy, lesbian, atheist, tattoo yourself head to toe. I've given you the best. Now you're on your own. So this is my style of parenting versus my parents' style of parenting. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Good, bad, ugly. Love to hear from you. And yeah, feel free to comment below. I'd always read your comments. You guys take care. It's me signing off.